Hi, Blastpop here. Well, this was an interesting couple of turns because I was planning on doing a turn 9 video by itself, but it didn't warrant it, unfortunately, from the American perspective because the Germans got the initiative and rolled a 0 for their number of uh, um, operations, and then immediately rolled a 2, which ended the turn. So the only thing that happened the entire turn were reinforcements came on the board and moved up. So it could be equated to bad weather, a lull along the front, what have you. So immediately I went on to turn 10, and this is the results of turn 10. The Americans launched several attacks and were repulsed on the board around here. As a matter of fact, they lost a regiment, a battalion, the 1/16th of the 1st Infantry, right there. Americans used heavy artillery and managed to poke a hole here and then ran units down the road. Now, what I would have done on turn 10 was, because they still would have had a line of supply, I would have ran at least one unit as far as I could to the south to try to pick up some victory points. At the end of the day, the Americans ended up with 22 victory points during the full campaign. Now, looking for the schedule here, 22 points isn't nearly enough to achieve any kind of victory. So the long game, 22 victory points equals German decisive victory. A very poor showing for the Americans. And I'm sure I played the Americans suboptimally. I think the Americans could have done a little bit better, at least got to a German marginal victory in the long game. But the Americans really have to hoof it and move down the road, and a couple of turns ending quickly, which I think is par for course, statistically speaking, in the later part of the game. So the Americans really need to push hard and fast during the first few turns at the very least. Some units haven't moved for several turns because the turns ended prematurely. Artillery was expended here, used up artillery here in the artillery park here, or a Grand Battery, for lack of a better term. Some more artillery here from the 2nd Infantry Division as well. Were heavily utilized to try to attack forces and expand any potential breakthrough. I enjoyed this game very much. I think that I'm happy that I did this for a commemorative game to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the Allied invasion of Fortress Europe. I chose this game because it's designed by a noted game designer, Joe Belkowski. The game seems to be underappreciated, and it was short enough with 10 turns to be completed in the available time frame. I'd highly recommend this game. Very enjoyable. It doesn't take long to play in the scheme of things, especially once players get some of the concepts down. The ones that take some effort are the artillery rolls, but you need several artillery units to make an effective attack against the enemy to soften them up so that the regular attack can go in. It works relatively well and easily. Got just the right amount of chrome. Everything seems to make sense in terms of being reasonably historical. And most of the German reinforcements came on during the game. About 6 units didn't. Just giving you an overview here of the ending dispositions. As they looked at the game end. aside from the destroyed points, strong points at the beginning of the game, here's the dead pile for both sides. 352nd lost 4 units. 3rd Fallschirmjäger lost 3. And the 84th Corps lost 4. And the Americans lost the Rangers, if you recall, at the beginning of the game. And then just on the last turn, lost the tank destroyers and the one of the 16th, first of the 16th of the 1st Infantry Division, and also a tank company. So this ends Omaha Beachead, published by Victory Games in 1986. This was Blastpop's 10-turn playthrough. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments, like, and subscribe. This has been Blastpop. Bye.